Welcome. Chances are you've been in a situation where you gave your emotions to someone, only to end up doubting yourself because that person ignored or dismissed you. And in that moment, you probably thought, am I doing something wrong? Did I approach them the wrong way? For INFJs, these experiences are especially painful because emotional connection is at the core of how they relate to others. Hello, welcome to Psych IQ. On this channel, we support introverted, intuitive, and sensitive people, encouraging self-awareness and personal growth. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future content. In this video, we're going to talk about clear signs that someone isn't valuing you emotionally and, more importantly, what you can do about it. For INFJs, emotions are not a secondary detail. They are the core from which they interpret the world and build relationships. While other people might enjoy light conversations or casual interactions without much issue, INFJs tend to feel empty if there's no minimum level of genuine connection. It's like they carry an internal radar. They know when someone is truly present or just physically there without emotional investment. When they notice that lack of reciprocity, they experience it as a deep wound. It's not just they didn't pay attention. They feel as if their very essence has been overlooked. In psychology, this relates to emotional validation, when someone acknowledges, understands, and respects what you feel. For INFJs, emotional validation is like oxygen. Without it, relationships lose meaning. The interesting thing is that this emotional value doesn't mean they always need long talks or exaggerated gestures. Sometimes a simple, "I understand, that must be hard for you," or a silent moment full of genuine attention is enough. That's why when they're surrounded by people who don't value them emotionally, they not only feel frustrated, but they start doubting themselves, asking if they're too sensitive or expecting too much. Signs that you're not being valued emotionally. Sign 1. Minimizing your feelings. Imagine sharing something that hurt you deeply. Maybe an unfair criticism at work or a betrayal by someone close. And the response you get is, "Oh, don't exaggerate," or "That happens to everyone, just get over it." For anyone, that's uncomfortable, but for an INFJ, who usually thinks a lot before opening up, it can be devastating. Because what they hear is not just, "It's not important," but "Your feelings don't matter." Over time, this minimization creates a dangerous pattern. The INFJ starts repressing their feelings, believing that their sensitivity is a flaw. Sign 2. One-sided conversations. You know that dynamic. You spend an hour listening to someone, supporting them, giving them your energy, and when it's your turn to share, they change the subject or check their phone. INFJs are natural listeners, but when that ability is exploited without reciprocity, it becomes draining. If in a relationship you are always the listener and rarely heard, that's a clear sign of imbalance. Sign 3. They never check in on you. One of the simplest ways to show emotional value is to ask, "How are you?" And not superficially, but genuinely. When someone never shows curiosity about your inner world, or only appears when they need something, they are silently saying, "Your emotions are not a priority to me." Sign 4. They ignore your boundaries. Setting emotional boundaries is challenging for INFJs. It's often hard for them to say no, because they fear hurting or disappointing others. When they finally muster the courage to set a boundary and the other person ignores it, it's not just disrespect, it's a direct invalidation of their effort. If you constantly feel your boundaries are ignored, that's a sign you're not being valued. Sign 5. You feel drained after interactions. Pay attention to your body and energy. After being with that person, do you feel inspired, motivated, and understood? Or do you leave feeling exhausted, as if you carried a weight that wasn't yours? Emotional exhaustion doesn't lie. If it happens repeatedly, that relationship is not nourishing you. Sign 6. They don't celebrate your growth. Someone who values you emotionally celebrates your achievements, even if they don't fully understand them. On the other hand, some people react with jealousy, indifference, or even sarcasm. This is very painful for an INFJ because they celebrate other people's victories with their whole heart. If your growth doesn't generate support but discomfort in the other person, there is probably no real emotional value. If INFJs notice these signs, why do they stay? One key reason is idealization. INFJs tend to see not just what a person is, but what they could become. They see hidden potential, possibilities for change, and hope that with patience, the person will improve. Another reason is fear of confrontation. Because they value harmony so much, they prefer to sacrifice themselves rather than create conflict. There's also self-deception. They tell themselves it's not that bad, that everyone makes mistakes, that they should be more understanding. The problem is that this misplaced compassion can turn into an emotional prison. The hardest truth for INFJs is accepting that not everyone wants or is capable of offering the same level of connection they seek. But then what are the solutions? 1. Trust your intuition. Your intuition is one of your greatest strengths. If you repeatedly feel that something is off, you're probably right. Don't ignore that inner voice. It's your emotional protection system. 2. Communicate clearly. Talking about your feelings isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary. Example: when you change the subject after I share something important, I feel ignored. I need you to listen even if you don't have a solution. Direct communication doesn't guarantee change, but it gives clarity. You'll see whether the other person is willing to value you or not. 3. Set firm boundaries. Think of boundaries as a fence protecting your inner garden. They aren't to enclose or exclude, but to safeguard what is valuable. If someone gets upset over your boundaries, they were likely benefiting from their absence. Before we continue, I want to share something that can really help you deepen your self-understanding. If you've ever wondered, am I really an INFJ? Or simply want to understand your personality better, I highly recommend trying the Truity personality test. It's incredibly accurate, easy to take, and gives you a detailed analysis of your strengths, vulnerabilities, and how you relate to others. It can also open new perspectives on why you react the way you do in moments of stress or emotional exhaustion. I've left the link in the description so you can check it out. It's a super valuable tool if you want to grow in your personal development and manage your emotions in a more conscious way. Now, let's get back to today's video. 4. Reevaluate the relationship. Ask yourself, do I feel seen in this relationship? Do I receive at least part of the support I give? If the answer is consistently no, it may be time to rethink your role in that relationship. 5. Surround yourself with people who do value you. You might not find 20 people who truly understand you, but a few authentic connections can transform your life. When you're around people who genuinely value you, your sensitivity stops being a burden and becomes your greatest gift. In conclusion, if you're an INFJ, understand that it's not that you're too sensitive, demanding, or hard to please. The truth is, you give your emotional world with such sincerity that when it's not met with respect, it hurts more than words can express. Recognizing the signs that someone doesn't value you emotionally doesn't mean you should blame yourself or think you chose poorly. It means you're growing, expanding your awareness, and learning to protect what's most valuable, your emotional energy. Remember, A healthy relationship isn't one without disagreements. It's one where both people strive to listen, validate, and support each other. If you're always the one sustaining the connection, the relationship is not reciprocal. It may be painful at first to step away from certain people, especially if you've invested time or hope in them. But each time you choose to protect yourself, you send an important message to your inner self. I am worthy. My feelings matter. I deserve respect. The beautiful thing is that when you start honoring your boundaries and being honest with yourself, space opens up for people who truly resonate with your essence. People who won't tell you you're too sensitive, but will see that sensitivity as a gift. People who won't drain you, but will nurture you. People who celebrate your victories and stand by you in defeat. Next time you feel undervalued, don't see it as failure. See it as an opportunity to make a different choice. Ask yourself, do I want to keep giving my energy here, or do I want to save it for those who truly appreciate it? It's better to walk alone for a while than to be surrounded by people who dim your light. Temporary solitude isn't emptiness. It's fertile ground to reconnect with yourself and discover new ways to grow. Thank you for staying with me until the end. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe for more content on INFJ psychology and personal growth. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt emotionally undervalued? How did you handle it? Share your experiences in the comments. Your stories can help other INFJs going through the same thing.